My biggest challenge on a personal level was always about my self-esteem. I had a very low self-esteem as a growing adult.
And today we have a very, very, very special guest. Her name is Bhavika.
Business development is not just a role, it's a life skill. That rejection is just part and parcel of my job. But that builds a lot of resilience in you. You're unshakable. The failures that you have over the years that shape you into who you are actually. Hey, when you're young, your purpose is just to make money, Like, I still want the money, I still want the big things, but not at the cost of being a bad person. It's not always about starting something of your own. It's not everyone's cup of tea. It's not everyone's calling as well. So you need to understand what your calling is and go with that.
Welcome everyone to All Cards on Deck. For those who don't know me, I am Ola. I'm the host of these conversations where I sit down with absolutely different people. They have different backgrounds. They live in different countries. They have absolutely different jobs and companies, and they work in different industries, but they do have something in common. They all live their lives following their purpose. There's this one purposeful thread connecting all of them. And All Cards on Deck is called All Cards on Deck for a reason, because we're actually playing a card game at the end. And it's called We Are Not Really Strangers. I love these cards so much. I play them with strangers, with friends, and it just makes the conversation so much more fun. And these cards, they are not tarot cards. We're not predicting anyone's future. These cards, they have random personal questions on them. And yeah, this is how we're getting to know our guests from a different angle beyond what they do, beyond purpose. And today we have a very, very, very special guest. Her name is Bhavika. And why very special guest? Because first of all, she works in business development, in sales. And you guys know, who follow me for a while, this is also my background. I've been in sales for a very long time. And everyone who's navigating this world definitely has my instant respect, because I remember how many learnings I had to go through during this job. And also, secondly, why Bhavika is a very special guest, because she works for a company. All the guests I had before, they had their own business. And I want with this episode for you guys to understand that you don't need to have a company, open a business to live a purposeful life. You don't have to quit your job, overhaul your life to live your life purposefully. No, you can live your life purposefully and have that purpose at whatever stage you are at right now, at whatever season, at whatever place, at whatever job. And I'm pretty sure Bhavika will share her story and it's going to be very inspiring. And yeah, that's why I really wanted her to be today on this live. So welcome, Bhavika, to All Cards on Deck. Very excited for this conversation.
Thank you so much, Ola, for this beautiful welcome. You are the warmest and kindest person I know. So it's quite rare. So thank you so much. It's been a pleasure knowing you, and it's been a pleasure to come on your live session. I would just like to start off by introducing myself. Although Ola has done a great introduction for me, I think we resonate a lot because of our common background of business development, So I think we understand each other at a different level. However, I am a business developer and I have been in the industry for a decade now. So I've been working hard and, I have been in the consulting division. Basically, we are financial consultants in the region. I have particularly been in the sales and business development part of it. And I started off as an executive. My background is a little different. So basically, I come in from an aviation background, which is not something that everybody knows about. I think I have told Ola about it, but not sure. So
I saw from your profile that you finished Dubai Aviation Business University, right?
Yes, I have done my schooling from Emirates Aviation University, and I have done an aviation management course. And to much surprise to everyone, someone from an aviation background is stepping into a business development field is quite rare. Like everybody who does aviation inclines towards aviation. But for me, it has been instrumental in different ways, I have been always inclined towards sales and business development. Ever since I was 16, 17 years old, I've been doing a lot of, promotions, sales work. So it has been something that I've been inclined towards. Currently, I'm working for a consulting firm. Can I give a brief about that as well?
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
So I'm curious about your shift. Well, first of all, how come you decided to finish a university linked to aviation?
So basically, as when you're growing up, you're just constantly thinking about, you're not very sure about what kind of work you want to pursue. You are, you're still experimenting. I think in your 20s, you're always experimenting. You're trying to understand what works best for you. You're trying to see which kind of stream works best for you. So that it was a learning phase. Of course, I enjoyed aviation, a management course that I had done. It was a very beautiful university that I have studied from. It's Emirates Aviation. So it was very, very fruitful and very, a lot of learnings to take away from there as well. But I think my inclination was towards business development because of the kind of connections that you make as a business developer. Been in the region I'm brought up in the region, so I've been in the region for a very long time in UAE. So for me, it's very, very important to, be able to connect with a lot of people. So I've been doing that for years now. And I think that is something I understood was my calling from before.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I'm pretty sure 10 years in business development definitely taught you a lot. What was that pivot for you in regards to business development? So you finished university, and then was there any incline to still take the path of aviation, or straight away after uni, you were like, this is not my thing?
So I did contemplate between my options. I was still not very sure because I was still in my 20s. I was still learning and evolving as a person. So I did seek to, go into an aviation background, but I was never inclined towards the, ground staff roles or any of those roles that, were offered to me at that point of time. So for me, my inclination was to be able to connect with as many people as I can, understand businesses on a deeper level. And so I started off with understanding SMEs, startups in the region, and so on and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So how was your first business development role? Was it something you expected, or it was a roller coaster for you?
It was a roller coaster for me because I did not expect anything that came my way. I did not expect the stress, the target oriented work that is always given to a business developer. So it was difficult for me initially. I would not say it was a very easy path and I got lucky all the way. It was nothing of that sort. It was always very, very difficult. In fact, to land my first job itself was very difficult for me. I had gone for a lot of interviews. I had given a lot of, I had tried to participate in a lot of things before I ended up in my first job. So whenever I meet a person, they always tell me how confident you are. How come you have I'm so confident? It's because of the years of experience and, the failures that you have over the years that shape you into who you are actually. So for me, it was very difficult, but of course I have managed to pave my path and be able to, learn from all the challenges that have come through. And yeah.
Mm-hmm. What would you
Yeah.
recommend right now for those people who want to apply for business development? They finished uni and they're looking for a job. They want to become a BD.
Yeah.
Looking back at your younger self,
Yeah.
and yeah, what would that recommendation, what would those tips be for those people?
I think I have the privilege of being in a consulting firm wherein you have a lot of interns and young people working alongside of you. So you are able to, see people. You are able to, and I have also been privileged enough to handle those kind of people who are young in the industry and everything. So my recommendation always to them is that business development is not just a role; it's a life skill. Like any other thing that you do, you need to know how to develop a business. Whatever role you take up in your life at a later point of time, it's very important that you understand that business development goes hand in hand with any role that you do. So you need to be able to develop business. You need to be able to interact with people. So for example, in our work of in our space of work, we always meet clients. We always, interact with clients to be able to finish their work faster. So for anyone who is joining in as well, I always tell them that you need to understand. And in our space of work, the service industry, we always believe in cross selling. So you have provided a service to a client, you need to cross sell. So people who are going in for the work as well need to be able to engage with the client at a deeper level and understand them and provide them the other services that they might require, because the interactions is what builds up the kind of opportunities that we need. So that is something I believe comes. So I
Mm-hmm.
always tell people that don't shy away from something like this just because it's very strict, very target oriented. Just give it a chance, because you never know what kind of opportunities this kind of a role can bring for you. So give it your best, work hard at whatever you do, because that at the end of the day is what matters. And also build
Mm-hmm.
beautiful connections with people, understand people in the most deeper manner as possible, so that you're able to build those connections with them. And that's what will give you, because I believe trust is the most important factor when it comes to business development.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
is true. Business development at the end of the day is about human connection, right?
absolutely.
And the best sellers are those who don't pitch slap or sell. These are those who build connections. And then when you have those connections, it's easier to offer your help rather than pitch and sell. So totally, I'm
Absolutely.
with you on this.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
and in my space of work in consulting, we are advisors in the region. We give advisory to people, whatever help they require. So I think we are in that space where we are able to help people. So in whatever capacity we are able to help people, and that help will always come back to you. It's never going to go waste. That's what people don't
Hmm.
understand, I think, in this space. They are very hesitant to help people out. If you are able to help people out in certain ways, it always comes back.
Yeah. And sometimes it might come back not from that specific person, but from the other
Absolutely.
side. Curious,
Absolutely.
do you believe in karma and do you know about karma? What goes around comes around. What are your thoughts on that?
So I come from an Indian background, as you might have known. So for us, karma is like something that is instilled into us, the way our religion speaks about it as well. So karma is very important. And I truly believe in that what goes around comes around for sure. And that's also one thing I wanted to tell you, that, more than anything, I think there's a question in your, in the live session that you have mentioned in the description. How do you manage, like, what is your purpose and everything, right? So my purpose has become a lot larger than it was previously. It is on a very spiritual level, I would say, to be a very good person more than anything else. Because I feel like if you're a good person, you attract everything good to you. So it's very important that you're a good person with a good mindset and with a very helpful and supporting nature.
This is beautiful. So yeah, you straight
Yeah.
away
Getting a little
replied
spiritual
to
here,
the
but
yeah, getting spiritual and yeah, getting into understanding what is your purpose. So
yeah,
you mentioned that it evolved, your purpose evolved. What was
absolutely.
your purpose before it became bigger and what you've mentioned right now, being a good person? Is that actually your purpose right now
Yes,
or
it
something
is.
else?
It is my
Mm-hmm.
purpose. My purpose is to be a very good person at the end of the day, to be able to help as many people as possible, help as many businesses as possible. So yeah, it goes a little spiritual. Some people don't get the understanding of it, but I think after a point, you just reach a deeper level and you become that person. So I'm very happy with being this person. And also, previously you were asking me, right, what was my purpose. So I would say when you're young, your purpose is just to make money, like you become a business developer just to make a lot of money. You have these really materialistic things that you're following through. I agree with that. I still want the money. I still want the big things, but not at the cost of being a bad person. So I want to be a really good person. I want to be a very kind person, helpful person, because I think that goes a long way. And that will definitely, as you said, it's karma. It will come back to you in different ways and different forms, which you have never imagined as well.
How did your inner state change when you shifted from having your purpose as making money and having your purpose as something internal?
That's a very good question. So basically, I do not know when this shift has happened, but I
Mm,
personally believe that it has happened eventually. You see a lot of things, you see a lot of money around you, you see everything you've seen pretty much. Then your main mindset goes into being, a better person day by day. And for me, that was very important, that I become a better person for myself every day of my life. I do not want to be just someone who is earning and, making a living and all of that. I want to evolve as a person mentally and spiritually so that I am able to, serve a better purpose, a higher purpose, I would say.
yeah.
Yeah.
How did you find it? How did you come to it?
There is no particular time or time frame or, how did I come to it? It's just an awakening that you have, sort of an awakening that you
Mm,
want to be a better person in life. You just feel like I don't have an instance to tell you that this is when it happened. It just happened eventually, but it was sort of an awakening that has happened inside me that, okay, you need to be a better person and you need to do better deeds. As you grow old, I
mhm,
think, for some people it works that way. As you
yeah.
grow older, you just start to think a little more deeper about things. You get a little spiritual as well. Yeah.
So basically, more organically throughout time,
Throughout time. Yes,
through your own
absolutely.
experience, it morphed to something deeper than just money, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. You're very right.
hmm
That's what I felt. Yes, yes.
What about the challenges on the way towards your purpose? What were the biggest ones you faced?
So my biggest challenge on a personal level was always about my self-esteem. I had a very low
Mm,
self-esteem as a growing adult. I wouldn't blame the people surrounding me or anything of that sort. But I think it's my personal thing. I had a very low self-esteem. So I built that over the years and I would just give everything to my role, because of my career. I have shaped myself into that because I think it would be much difficult if I was in a different role. But because I was in this kind of a role, I had to be confident. I had to because I was the one, front facing, meeting the clients and everything. So there was no way for me to be underconfident in any manner. I had to be confident. So I think self esteem is something that I have learned over the years. To be honest, I'm still not very much there. I still feel a little hesitant, but I am getting there and I think I'll be there for sure. I'll be the most confident person in the room at some point of time.
There's always room for perfection, right? To become
Absolute.
even better
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
at
totally
whatever.
agree with that. Yeah, totally agree with that.
Yeah.
I think there's
What would you
always
suggest for people who, yeah.
room for
What
improvement.
would you recommend for those people who have lack of confidence?
I would say really to be able to work on themselves in the sense that give themselves those kind of work opportunities or any kind of opportunities where they are, front facing, where they are able to interact with clients and do that on regular basis because that's what will build the self-esteem. It just doesn't happen overnight for anybody. There are a lot of kind of platforms that enable you, like if you are able to go through any networking events or if you're able to join, there's a really great platform called Toastmasters. I don't know if you've heard of it. They do they
Toastmasters, yeah. All over
yeah,
the
they
world, they have these speaking.
all over the world. So previous consultancy that I was working with, they had enrolled all their, people into Toastmasters. So I had got the opportunity to be able to, attend those sessions. Those sessions also really help with your boosting your self-esteem and to be able to, speak to people, speak to a crowd. And yeah, those are really helpful. And there are, of course, networking events, wherein you meet people, you interact with a lot of people And sometimes some networking events, you just have to interact with people. I was also a part of this networking event called BNI, Business Networking International.
I've been also a part of BNI.
Okay, great. I think
6
anyone I interact with.
a.m. We started at 6 a.m., right? Or 7 a.m. I forgot. I think
To be
6 a.m.,
honest,
right?
I was the lucky one, and my BNI used to start in the afternoons, like 3:30, 4 p.m. was the time. Like evenings, we used to do the
Really?
BNI.
There were options. There were chapters that were starting at
I
4.
think
Mine was so early.
this happened only quite later. I think it was all morning, and then, few of these groups had done in the evening. I'm not a part of it right now, but I was a part of it a while back, 2-3 years back. So that also helps. Like, you are put on the spot and you have been told, okay, you need to speak about the company, speak about yourself. So I think these platforms really, help you in a certain way. Of course, you can pick and choose whichever platform works the best for you. But I think I'm just speaking out of experience, what I have experienced over the years, and what has worked well for me.
Yeah. It's a
Yeah,
beautiful tool because sometimes when we are scared of something, the best option to beat that fear is to go into it, right? I'm scared of public
absolutely.
speaking. The best thing is for me to go and actually learn public speaking and conquer my fear this way. And it's
Absolutely.
amazing also that your companies, the ones you worked at, supported you and the employees in such a way. Toastmasters, BNI, because I know BNI usually is sponsored by the companies, at least it was for
Yes.
us. So again, it's beautiful that companies create such opportunities for their employees.
Absolutely.
What
Absolutely.
about other challenges that you faced towards on the path towards your purpose?
So one thing which is very common in a business developer role is the rejection that you face. You face
Mm.
rejection every single day, and it's on the face, like people know about it, you know about it. So that is something that really, really takes time for many people, including me. It took me a lot of time to understand that rejection is just part and parcel of my job. I just have to be very thick-skinned and be able to just keep going and not, take it personally. So it took me a lot of time, but that builds a lot of resilience in you. That really helps you become very resilient in your work, and you're unshakable, I feel, after that, after the kind of rejections that you face and the kind of people that you interact with. Some people don't even feel like interacting with you, which is very rude, but that's part and parcel of our jobs as well.
Yeah, I know. I feel like all people that are in sales, they have a very thick skin
Absolutely. You have to
towards
build it.
rejection. Yeah. I
You
remember
have
myself when I started my first serious sales job. It was in events, sport events, and it was cold calling. God, I don't know if you had an experience of cold calling.
Absolutely. I think when you start
You
off,
did.
when you start
It's
off,
rough.
it's very rough. It's very, very,
It's
very
rough.
difficult, especially when you have no clue on how to approach people. You learn these skills over time, like how to approach them, the kind of things that you need to speak. And this varies completely upon the kind of work that you're doing. Like now in a service industry is completely different from product industry, for example. Like if you're selling a product, it's completely different, and selling a service is very, very different. And the way you approach them is very different. The time frames are very different. So yeah, it's definitely is quite
Yeah, and
challenging.
even when you're given a script, right? When I started that job, I was given a script, I was given the
Yeah,
training.
yeah,
But when you start, it's still so unnatural. And I remember, I don't know, it was my maybe month of working, 1 month working in that company doing cold calls. Some guy was so rude and shouting, and I was like 21 back then. I cried. I dropped the phone. I cried. I ran away from the office it was in Media City, and found a place in Media City, a bench, and I just cried my eyes off. That's the beginning of my sales journey. Did you have any stories like that on your path?
I I know I have not cried that much, but definitely I felt like people were a little too rude, and people need to be a little more understanding. But of course, it's very challenging and it's very, very difficult. I can totally understand. Whenever I have worked with people, they've always told me that, it's a very challenging role. Are you sure you want to take it up? But I think that's the fun of it as well, right? It's not mundane. Your work is not mundane. It doesn't have to be the same work at on at the same time, like 9 to 5, the same kind of work. It just keeps evolving and changing. You strategize, you make things happen. So I think I would not prefer it any other way, any which way.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Do you have any funny stories in regards to sales? Any funny situations, funny clients, or maybe even not failures, but like, sometimes I had also situations where I sold something to a person thinking that this is one thing, but eventually it was completely another, and I had to like fix my mistake. I don't know if you had such situations in your career.
I think we all have such funny stories, wherein we have made some goof ups here and there. So right off the bat, I can think of maybe a few emails, I have, I think previously I have shared an email for a very different client with a lot of requirements and different details to them. And they have come back to me and told me, like, Bhavika, what is this? Like, and yeah, there was a few confidential details which were not supposed to be shared
Right.
as well. So that those kind of goof ups happen, and it's just, initially when you are starting off, it's very difficult to be
Yeah.
able to, monitor everything, and you're just learning as well. So these goof ups happen, but it really helped me in, being able to be more careful and be more understanding and everything. But yeah, every time I talk to a client, it's very different, the conversation, Some people are just least interested in talking to you about anything. And some people just tell you their whole world, what's happening in their personal life completely. And I find that hilarious sometimes because they tell you about their dog, they tell you about their kids, what's happening, which I feel is very endearing and like a little too much at the same time.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know. There are different types of buyers, right? Those who want to have only numbers, then the others who want to have more emotions, more visual. So
Yes.
yeah, and
They
we as
want to interact
salespeople,
with you
yeah,
all the time. They want to know what's happening in your life as well. So
yeah,
yeah, people are different, definitely. It's very nice though. Like I don't mind at all.
yeah.
Yeah.
Let's talk about an important topic in sales, which is stress. I
Yeah.
remember my time, I burnt out twice in my career because I was really pushing hard, 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 and then was not able to manage my stress. What is your experience with stress before, now? How are you managing it? And
Yeah.
have you ever had any burnouts?
Definitely. I think anyone who has been in business development or sales has had a burnout for sure. Because at some point or the other, you just don't see anything happening for you. Sometimes you just don't see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah,
So, yeah, yeah. So definitely we have all seen burnouts, especially me as well, because I started off in this industry as a young girl. So I learned a lot along the way, but I think for me, it came with a lot of stress as well because I was not someone who knew how to manage that stress. And and I've learned over the years like how I need to manage my stress, how I need to be able to control my, emotions when it comes to work, when it comes to any stress that I have. You know, it doesn't go on the work stress as well. Your personal stress also affects you. If both of these things come into picture, then you have a serious burnout as well. And sometimes you're helpless, So it happens a lot, but I think over the years I have learned how to manage my stress. I meditate in the mornings because I think it's very, very important to be able to connect. I'm very religious. So for me, my connection with God is what helps me every single day, to be able to manage
Mm-hmm.
this kind of stress that comes with my work. So I think that helps a lot for me on a personal level.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. So I
What
would
about
say
the
anyone,
meditation? Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, sure, sure. So I would say anyone who is trying to navigate stress in their lives can, try to meditate. That really helps. Meditation would just mean sitting there quietly and, trying to breathe in and breathe out as well. I think that works brilliantly as well. I know some people struggle with it, but we have all kinds of solutions now. We have a lot of therapy that we can take, in case the stress levels are not manageable and everything. So definitely, I think meditation works. Just breathing in and breathing out works brilliantly for me. So I do tell people, whenever you are stressed, you try to do a little bit of meditation, get up like 5 o'clock in the morning or 6 o'clock in the morning before sunrise, and just try to do a little bit of meditation, if possible, yoga as well, just to keep yourself refreshed and stress free. I know it won't change the situation. I know it won't make a lot of difference, but it will just help you with your mental health, I guess. In my case, it works.
Yeah. So in the morning, every day before sun or during sunrise, you do this meditation where you sit down, you connect with yourself, and you focus on your breath, right?
Exactly, exactly. That was the whole thing that I was trying to say. And this is something that I've started new. It's not something that I've always been doing. So it really works for me, just to be able to have those few, like a half an hour or even 15-10 minutes, whatever I am able to allocate that time for the meditation part, because we lead a lot of busy lives. So it's very difficult to be able to make time as well. I totally understand. But if you're able to make at least 10-15 minutes of your time every morning, it really helps. Yeah.
And did you manage to do it straight away, or you needed some time to be able to keep your focus on the breath? Was it easy
So
from the first time?
it wasn't easy from the first time because you don't know what you're doing. Thankfully, we have, YouTube and everything. People are there to help us out in various ways. So I do, check a few videos of meditation here and there and try to see what works best for me. I do not just follow them blindly. I see what works for me and I just, go through with it. So I think you should just know that everything doesn't work for everybody. You need to understand what works best for you. And that is only trial and error. So you need to try and see what works and what doesn't work. And then you'll know. But definitely you can give it a shot and you can see if it works for you.
Yeah, I agree with you. We have so many beautiful tools right now to regulate our emotions, regulate our stress, be it breath
Absolutely.
work, be it meditation, sport also, so many things we can do. And it's all about experimenting with those methods and find what suits you the most. And in regards to meditation, you also mentioned that it won't fix everything, right?
Absolutely.
And at the same time, because it changes our chemicals within our body because we have so many chemicals, so many things are happening
Yeah.
inside of our bodies, and with the oxygen in and out, with regulating our breath, we're changing our chemical, not state, but like our chemicals within our body that calm our down and reduce cortisol. And only even that, just that chemically, when we fix ourselves, it
Exactly.
feels differently. It feels
Exactly,
different.
exactly. It makes a lot of difference. This might seem like a very small thing, but it does make a lot of difference to your everyday life, because we lead really difficult and very stress lives. So anything as small as this also works brilliantly for a lot of people, including me. So definitely anyone who is watching can definitely try it out for themselves and see what works best. And yeah.
Yeah. What about the belief that purpose is possible only when you have your own company? What do you think about it? And have you ever had thoughts like, oh my God, I live, my life doesn't have any purpose. I need to have my own business. Like, were you in that trap yourself ever?
Not really, because I believe that, the kind of field that I come from, which is business development, right? It is it is as good as being an entrepreneur. Like, you get so much responsibility on your shoulders. You have so much to do, and the kind of, responsibility that you have to be able to, you know, participate in the revenue of the company, it's very, very crucial. It's not something that you can take very lightly. So for me, I believe that, of course, an entrepreneur has a lot of other stresses as well. But I believe the main stress an entrepreneur also has is sales or business development for his firm. So for me, I think my purpose is definitely, I would like really urge people to and tell them that it's not always about starting something of your own, because now the concept is always leave your job and start something of your own, or just leave this and do your own thing. I understand, but I honestly feel it's not everyone's cup of tea. It's not everyone's calling as well. So you need to understand what your calling is and go with that. So I personally think, since my role is very challenging and very, different from the other roles that might be there in the company of, people must be doing. So for me, so I understand the challenges that come with an entrepreneur's mindset and everything. But at the same time, I believe I have a little bit of stability as well to be able to grow and, nurture myself. So I think that is something that I would like them to take away, that it's not everyone's cup of tea. And you're not lacking behind at all if you are not, someone who has left everything and started their own thing. Because
Mm-hmm.
there have been, of course, we talk about success stories, right, with entrepreneurs. But we do not talk about people who have been unsuccessful. And I think the probability of those and the ratio of those is much better, much larger than the success stories. So we need
Mm-hmm.
to understand where we stand. We need to understand what our calling is and just go for it.
Mm-hmm. And it's good that you mentioned success. I'm wondering, what is success for you?
For me, as I said, Ola, that my purpose has been changed and evolved over time. So for me, success would be spreading a lot of kindness. People should be able
Mm-hmm.
to, be able to be like, okay, this girl is very supportive. I would like to engage with her. She is quite helpful and she is very kind-hearted. And I just want, and that's my purpose in life. Like, I want to be able to help a lot of people, a lot of businesses, and I think with my work I am able to do that as well. So I feel very fortunate that I am in such a field where I'm building meaningful relationships. I'm building trustworthy relationships, and I'm able to also impact lives in a different sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, in a way, following your purpose, being that good person, is very much linked to success, right? Being
Yes.
kind to others.
Yes.
Almost an
As per me.
equation here.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
And it's also beautiful what you've mentioned, insightful and on point, that you mentioned that when people open their own companies, they still have to sell. Selling doesn't
Selling
go
doesn't
away.
stop.
And
Exactly. And it's
yeah,
the
in a
main
way, business
function.
developers are little businessmen or businesswomen constantly. Yeah, I mean, it's very similar to entrepreneurship, right?
Exactly. Exactly. My role is that kind of a role, which is very similar. And yeah, of course, get the stability with it. But other than that, I think it's a very similar stress wise as well. So yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
What about the tips for those who are in search of their own purpose? What would you recommend?
I would say do not push yourself to find a purpose. I would say it sometimes comes to you. So do not push yourself too much what happens with, I have seen a lot of young people, they are always thinking about, so what's next? What should I do next? And how do I make this work? What should I do? Their minds are running all the time. And, so I think you just get a little calmer. When your mind is a little more calmer, I think you understand your purpose a lot more. You focus better. I have always been a very focused person at my work. So I take that as a big quality that I have. So I think focus on what you really want to do with your life, and then your purpose will just follow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And what about tips for salespeople in regards
Salespeople.
to, yeah, how to reach targets better, faster. And yeah, let's start with that part.
Sure. So basically, for salespeople, I would say that, interact with as many people as you can, attend a lot of networking events, go for a lot of, if it's in your capacity, please do it. Call as many people as you can, meet as many people as you can. As we've spoken about a lot of networking platforms as well. So engage with those if you're able to, and try to connect with a lot of people, because you never know. I'm just talking generically because a lot of industries and a lot of business developers are from different various industries, and they their work is very different from what I do. So I still feel that whatever works is basically that you interact with as many people as possible and make meaningful connections with them, and try to support them and help them in your capacity, so that you're always remembered by them. They won't forget you if you're if you give a helping hand. I don't think that people will forget you for that. They might not be able to give you work maybe, but they'll definitely refer you to people. They'll definitely try to help you in some or the other way because you did that. But even that intention of yours should be just pure, I think, and you just help them very purely, and then if they are able to help you, definitely. But yeah, you just have to have good intentions, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
And definitely, salespeople, one thing that I would like to tell you is that meet as many people as possible and try to interact with them, try to understand them. So
Mm-hmm.
this would be my one and only.
And what I also heard is that to help them to give, and eventually, if things will align, they will come back to that person, right? Because
Absolutely.
this is how we're building trust. And you also mentioned during our conversation that building trust is so important
Absolutely. In our
with.
space of work, I think a lot of, so basically I had attended an AI event recently. I'm very new to AI, so I'm not that good at it. So I was learning about the basic platforms and everything. So it was very good. I understood a lot of things. But what was my takeaway from that event was they were talking about how the sales process can be automated completely, except the human touch. So I took that
Mhm.
away and I was like, yes, that's absolutely right. Human touch can never be compromised. And, that relationships that you build will never go out of fashion or will never be able to be automated, in my opinion. So I think that's what is important. Everything else can be
Mm.
automated. So, yeah, we
So
are
how do you
privileged that we
see?
are able to.
Yeah.
We are privileged that we are in the space that we are able to, connect with those people as well.
How do you see AI blending into the business development role? Because you mentioned that eventually the human touch has to be there, right? AI cannot take it away from us. So how do you see AI in the future blending into the business development world?
I think the processes that we do can be definitely automated. For example, right now we use a lot of softwares like CRM and other things as well, right? To be able to feed in all our details and everything. Those processes will be completely automated at a point of time. I'm pretty sure of that. And, we might get a notification on our phones that, okay, you have a meeting. You have not even, schedule the meeting. You might just be automated that, okay, you have this meeting has been scheduled, and you'll just get a notification and you'll go for the meeting. But what will not change is the fact that you will have to go for the meeting. You'll have to interact with the client. You will have to gain their trust. So that is something
Mm-hmm.
that will not change. But of course, the whole process, including, how you feed in your data and everything, will be automated completely. That's what I also, heard in the AI event that I had gone to, that everything will be automated at some.
Yeah, and I also know a lot of people are automating their emailing. They have these sequences.
Yeah.
DMing also is automated. But I also see a lot of people that do not like those automations. And as soon as they see an automated message, they get very, very pissed. We see on LinkedIn also a lot of people
Yeah.
like print screening, automation DMs and writing posts about it. What are your thoughts about automation? Is it something that you think is good or you don't like it completely? Because literally some people just hate it. They block the person straight away if they see that it's an automation.
No, I understand where they come from. I have still been, I have all the tools to be able to share my emails with my clients in a very easy manner. But I make sure I write my own emails. I I definitely make sure of these things because I believe that, they will understand better if I am able to convey to them. Still automation is there. I mean, it can be used for, the prospects that you're trying to generate and the new people that you're trying to engage with. A faster way of engaging, all of these things work brilliantly. But of course, it depends upon person to person, how they take of it. I think people are different and, for some people it works, for some people it doesn't work. But for me, I feel like whoever I interact with or on a personal level, I make sure that I, personalize my email and definitely I write it myself and I send it to them because I still don't
Mm-hmm.
get the hang of, automating every process. So, I mean,
Yeah.
at some point of time, we'll all get used to it. I'm pretty sure of that. But so far, it's still a little better to personalize your, interaction with the client at least.
Yeah, I agree with the client for sure. At the same time, I feel like prospecting, yeah, is becoming much, much, much better with easier with
Absolutely.
automations.
Absolutely. I agree with that.
Yeah. Okay, let's move to our last part, which is a game,
Okay,
and see
interesting.
what it brings. Have you ever played this game or
No,
a similar one?
never.
It's
This is
amazing. I
my first
recommend it
time.
to everyone.
Okay.
I played it even with friends because it's called We Are Not Really Strangers. So maybe people
Okay.
might think that you play this game only with strangers, but even with friends, it's so much fun. I got to know my friends that I knew for like 15 years on a deeper level. I was like, oh, wow,
Where
something I
did you
didn't
get the
know about
game
you.
from? Where is the game from?
I think US, they have a website, so I got it from their
Okay.
website directly.
Okay.
But I think you can get it from
Great.
Amazon too.
Okay. Okay. I'll look
Yeah.
into it. Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Question number one. What is your go-to karaoke song?
To be honest, I do not go to much karaoke's, but any of the Justin Bieber songs, I guess.
Okay, okay. So if you would go to karaoke, you would choose a Justin Bieber song.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Okay. Have you been to his concert?
Unfortunately, I've not got the chance to.
Okay,
But
on the
someday
to-do
soon.
list.
Yes, to-do
Mm,
list. Yes, yes, definitely.
okay, one more question. What is your father's name? And tell me one thing about him.
Okay, interesting. So my father's name is Giridhar Paryani. Yeah. So, okay, I'll tell an interesting thing about him. So basically, my dad is a very organized person. Like he doesn't like chaos at all. So he's almost ADHD, I believe. So he's very, very like particular about his things and how it's kept and everything. I'll tell you something very funny. So basically, as we were growing old, we used to eat dinner at different times. Okay. So my dad is very particular. He will be on the table at 9 p.m. and he has to eat his food at 9. Now, even if the food has been ready for hours or even if the food is not ready, he will be like, okay, I have to eat my food at 9 p.m. So he has changed quite a bit, actually, to be honest. But these are the memories that I take from my childhood. And I
Mm-hmm.
used to find it hilarious at that time as well because we are a very, chill family, but he is very strict and very particular about his things. So, yeah, it's quite different.
Do you see something like this in yourself? Because, a lot of times we mirror our parents and we take so many of their habits, not even knowing that, oh, actually, I do the same as my dad.
Yeah, definitely. No, no, the thing is, I am also quite organized. I like to keep my things. Like, for example, my dad, any documentation and everything, he keeps it very properly. All of that is he's very strict about all that. So I have definitely taken that away from him. I keep all my documentation, everything very particular. And Yeah, so I think I've taken that away from him as well. But
Yeah.
I don't eat my food only at 9 p.m.
You're more flexible that
I'm
way.
flexible. I'm quite flexible that way. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, and the third question. Okay, what question were you most afraid to answer,
In the deck,
if there
or
was
it's
any?
just I'm not sure. I think something quite personal. Maybe I don't know. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Something that maybe I asked already. Was there anything that you were afraid to answer?
No, no,
Or
no,
they or no?
no.
Okay.
I think it
I
was
feel
pretty
like
fine. Yeah.
okay, perfect. Beautiful. So we'll be slowly wrapping up. Before we actually close this conversation, you mentioned several times that your company does consulting, right? What type of consulting is it? And tell us more, what clients are you looking for? Maybe our listeners are actually in need of services of your company, and also the best way to contact you.
100%. So basically, I'm working for this firm called TRC Pamco. We are financial consultants in the region. We do an array of different services. We do your accounting, your bookkeeping, your audits, external audits, internal audits. We do everything, all kinds of audits basically. And we do your tax work as well. So right now we have two types of taxes in the UAE, so corporate tax and VAT. So we entail with both the services as well. We have a management tax, basically a transaction advisory team as well. We do valuations, mergers and acquisitions, all of that as well. Plus, we do a lot of corporate structuring as well. So we have a separate division for that. Any kind of business incorporations, any kind of, work, legal work that you require at a corporate level, we help with that as well. But this is just pertaining to, liaising with the authorities and everything, like free zones and all of that. So we help out with that as well. So yeah, and in a gist, we do all of these services, and I would be very happy if you can connect me to a few people, or can refer me to a few people who would be requiring any of these services. Would be happy to support, as I said. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
definitely.
So, who are your ideal clients? These would be people who are setting up their businesses, business owners in the UAE, right?
Absolutely. So for the startups and SMEs, I would love to be, engaging with the business owners, the CEOs. And for the larger firms, if I can be connected to the CFOs or any of the finance heads, it would be very helpful. I personally interact with these people, and as they are the decision makers in my industry. So it would be very helpful. And we work in all the industries. So there is no such industry that we cannot cater to. So if there's any consulting advisory requirement, we'd be happy to support. And we do a lot of AML compliances as well. Forgot to mention that. So we do your compliances completely. Any kind of compliance work that you require, we can support you with that as well.
Yeah, what is the best way to get in touch with you? So LinkedIn, maybe any other way people can reach you. Maybe we can leave your email on the in the YouTube description for those who might read and want to reach out, not
100,
on LinkedIn, but like via email. Okay, perfect.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can definitely give you my email ID, and you can just maybe put it in the description or something, and we can take it forward from there. No
Yeah, yeah.
problems. Yeah. Yeah.
I'll do that.
Yes.
Okay, beautiful. So thank you so much, Bhavika, for sharing your story, for letting us know about your purpose, and for showing everyone that, hey, it is possible to feel fulfilled and happy and live a purposeful life in a business development role, even with all the stress, even, working for a company. It is possible. And I'm encouraging everyone really digest this session and information right now. So thank you everyone for joining. Thank you, Bhavika. And
Thank you so much,
I will
Ola.
see
Thank you.
you. I will see everyone in the next episode. Cheers.